be showing you today a few things with Tableau, conducting a sales revenue analysis. I'm going to be showing you how to do a forecast and also showing the actual results, and also showing you guys another sheet that separates out the average sales by either person, customer, invoice number, or anything like that. So let's get started. If you don't have the software Tableau, you can download it from searching in Google Tableau, or if you already have it, you can open it up. And we're going to get started by clicking on Microsoft Excel, importing our data, just labeled shipping, and I'll be reading the instructions as I go. And the first thing we're going to be doing is creating a sales revenue analysis and answering the question of what 3 months had the highest sales in 2021. So as soon as this uploads, we're going to get started with that. Make sure everything is working fine. Okay, so finally in the sheet, we're going to name our sheet 2021 revenue trend. And you can see the name pop up here. We're going to drag the invoice total into the rows line, and this is going to show us invoice total on the y-axis, and then we're going to drag the invoice date into the columns line, and this is going to show up on the x-axis. So we wanted to show up with 2021's data. So to show by month, we're going to click these plus signs, and to get only the month data in there, we're going to take out the quarter and year, clicking remove. Okay. So to get only 2021, we're going to have to drag the invoice date into filters, and we're going to double click on years and select 2021, and hit OK. And this should be our revenue trend. You see January, February, all the way to November and December. And since we've already named the tab 2021 revenue trend, we can go ahead and answer the question of what 3 months had the highest sales in 2021. And we can see that November had the highest of 258,881. The next would be September of 227,547. And then the next would be March, which would be 213,325. So we need to make some instruction changes. So we're going to change these measure values into dimensions. So the first one we're gonna choose is customer number. We're gonna right click on that. We're gonna convert that into dimension. And then another one, we're gonna click on for invoice number and convert that into dimension. Now, my next question for my assignment is what other number quotations have been imported as a measure instead of a dimension, and it's asking to please change that measure value into a dimension, and that's going to be our order number. So let's right click that and convert to dimension. Okay. Next, I'm going to make another sheet, and it's by clicking this right next to the 2021 revenue trend tab. I'm going to click the next tab, which is going to add another sheet, and you'll see sheet 2. And next we're going to drag and drop the customer number dimension now into the columns line. This should show up on the x-axis. Yep. And then we're going to put the invoice total under the measure value into the rows. Now, Tableau defaults to a bar chart, but a better way to see the amount of revenues by customer number, we can go to this top pane under Show Me, and we're going to choose the Packed Bubbles chart, which gives us a better visual. And from here, we can see that customer number 100140 had the most revenues with 286,691, and that answers my next question of which customer number has the largest sales by volume. And if we wanted to make things even clearer, we can drag the invoice total into this marks tab, which is already there, and then we can add some color. Oh, we have to drag the invoice total into the color pane, and then this will indicate who has the highest. And we're going to name this tab Total Sales by Customer. And you should see that presented where sheet 2 was. Now we're going to calculate average sales volume. So total sales. I have to right click on Total Sales by Customer tab here. And I'm going to duplicate. There we go. And I'm going to rename this average sales by customer. Okay, and then click on the drop down arrow next to sum. Okay. So next, to make this measurement by average. I right click on the invoice total in the marks frame, and under this measure I see it has an option for other options other than just measure. I'm going to select average, and now I have the total average sales by customer now. And you can see that it's not really a clear answer from this way. So we're going to go back to the Show Me tab on the top pane, all the way to the right, and we're going to go to the circle views. And now this gives us a better indication of which customer had the most sales, average sales, which would be customer number 100208 with the average invoice total of $14,124, which answers my next question of which customer number has the highest average invoice amount. Our next task is going to be creating a sales forecast and an actual sales trend. So we're going to open a new tab, which I will go down to the bottom and click on the new worksheet tab, and you will see sheet 4, and we will call this Q4 forecast. And you should see it replace the sheet 4 name. I'm going to close this Show Me pane. So to perform a forecast, we're going to right click on invoice date, then convert to a continuous value, which is right here. And you can see that little blue calendar turn into a green calendar. And we're going to add invoice total into the rows line. It's going to show up here. And invoice date to the column line. Okay, it kind of looks like a triangle right now, and this is a trend from 2020 to 2022. Okay, so to expand the invoice date until sales are shown by month, we're going to click the plus button, just as we did for the revenue trend. And one more time, and now it's by month. So we're going to add invoice date from dimensions to the filter pane, and we're going to select range of dates and set the filter to include all invoices through September 30th of 2021. Hit OK. And yep, September 2021. And to add a forecast, we're going to click on the Analytics tab, which is right here, right below the back button in Tableau. We're going to hit the forecast button. Oh, I got to drag and drop it in here. Yep, there we go. Okay, and now to edit it, I left click on this and then hit edit. And we only want to forecast for Q4 of 2021. So for the forecast link, I hit exactly, then change this to months, and then it'd be the last 3 months. Ignore last month. And then from automatic to custom. And currently using source data from March 2020 to September 2021 to create forecast through December 2021, which is what I want. So hit OK. It's like this is staying the same. Don't think this. Since I know the trend is staying the same, I need to go back into my forecast and edit, and the trend should be additive. So now my trend is directly going up from October, November, and December. So now I have my forecast of revenues for Q4. And to answer the questions of what are the forecasted sales for October, November, and December for 2021. October is 128,030. November is 143,413. And December is 158,796. Now we're going to obtain the actual values for Q4. So we're going to create a new worksheet. Name this Q4 actual. And you should see that populated where sheet 5 was. We're going to add invoice total to the row section and invoice date to the column section, and do the years as well. And then now we have the actual amounts for October, which was 223,082. November is 258,881, and then December we can see 77,687. And when we compare the Q4 forecast to the actual amount, we can see that it's not anywhere near what the actual amounts were, since October was 223 and then Q4 was way less. The forecast was way less than what the actual amount was. So since I answered the actual sales amounts for Q4, that answers the next set of questions for my assignment. And lastly, we're going to create a dashboard in our Tableau software. So we're going to go up to this top pane where you normally see most software where you can save and has data worksheet. We're going to go to this dashboard. We're going to click New Dashboard. And we're going to bring all our sheets into our dashboard so we can all see it. One sheet, might add. So, then Q4, then actual, and you know we can move it around so it looks a little bit better. So I might want to move my revenue trend up here, and then maybe have my average sales right here. Maybe want to drag revenue trend down and have my forecast and total showing a little bit more towards the bottom here. Maybe actual on top, so that can be the highlight. You can know. So we're at the end now of the video and the assignment, but first I want to go over just closing out questions to end the assignment. The first one is, what month significantly underperformed? And I would say, based off of the revenue trend, we can say that January, February, and July definitely underperformed, and you can kind of see the similarities between the actual results, and also it's the same amount for the forecast, but because that's just measuring the Q4. In which months significantly outperform expectation, and I would say it would be March and September and November, who had the highest amount of revenue, and based off of the Q4 forecast, actual, I would say exceeded expectations would be October, because it went up so much by almost 100,000 more. So and that leads me to the next question about what would be the inherent weaknesses for the forecast. I would say, as an auditor, that from the forecast, management would probably undermine the sales. So when they get their actual results, revenue will look really good for the financial statements, to show shareholders that the business is doing good. That, I think, that would be an inherent weakness from this project. And then the last question is, what audit evidence will the auditor need to obtain during the audit to become comfortable with revenue during Q4? I would say the audit evidence needs to be like support internal control to make sure that all items related to revenue was recorded, and to make sure that the cutoff date was actually the cutoff date for revenue. So to measure everything and test for all revenue recorded in September is true and accurate and didn't go into October, and same thing for the last 4 months for Q4, since that is the focus of the project. Once again, this concludes my video for my MBA 715 auditing class for LSUS. My name is Martel Fontenot. Thank you again.